maybe just like with the Dark Knight movie master figures, we would see more of the Masters figures sitting retail like we see the monthly figures?
Right now, the only thing that will be at retail will be those Versus 2 packs. It doesn't mean the line won't go to retail eventually one day, but not in 2011.
So just keep buying it at retail and try to help it out?
And I can tell you, if and when the line ever did go to retail, we would release the figures minus some of the accessories. So for example, Merman would probably have one head and one accessory in a retail release in order to preserve the special release of the Matty one. That's why we give everyone, except Stratos and Zodak, at least 2 weapons and maybe another head.
And maybe probably like $15 probably?
There's no way I could comment on that, but
thanks.
Yeah, but there are no plans right now to release it in retail. We're just thinking long term. If maybe there was a movie or a reason to do that, then we might want to release them. But we will preserve the original release. Yeah, everyone asks a question and gets a prize. So just file up here after you ask your question. First and foremost, now everybody it's got to be a good question. You can't just ask anyone I had for breakfast. First and foremost, my favorite 2 figures, if y'all looking for making some Spike or Leech. But my real question is, they made a couple of small play sets back in the day. They even remade them back in the 2002. Are we going to see any kind of small play sets in the future? Is that something you're looking towards? I'm not talking Castle Grayskull. I was thinking of like Fright Zone or the Slime Lip from back in the day. We're definitely interested in play sets. I think if we did one, the first one would be Castle Grayskull. Of course, it's not obviously nothing planned yet, but I think everyone can agree the line's growing. Yes, it is. So we'd like to get there. It just depends on you guys' support. Keep supporting the line, and we'll keep pushing the limit. Thank you.
On your DC versus the Masters of the Universe, would you ever think about Gorilla Grodd versus Gygor?
Nice. Really good question.
They are 2 completely different sculpts. You guys can attest to that, yes? Yeah. As much as fans don't believe us.
Side by side, you'll see the difference.
That might be a little tough because of the size. Right now, the Versus are only going to be the 6-inch figures. Gygor is a little bigger as a collect and connect. Grodd is a collect and connect, is a little bigger. And Gygor is even bigger than that. The best way for them to fight right now is on your shelf, but maybe one day.
That's a great pairing.
It is a great pairing.
I also got another question.
But you only get one toy.
What gave you the idea of making Gygor evil?
Oh, good question. So why make Gygor evil in the bio? Well, for starters, he's never appeared in any entertainment or comic or anything. Really, there were prototype images showing He-Man on top of him, whether he was riding him or fighting him. We really talked about it. At the end of the day, he seemed like a good addition to do a larger evil character. Because of the bios are meant for us to do the maximum number of characters. They're not meant to be a definitive canon. That's why we put them on there. If you want him to be a hero, that's actually just as valid. Masters is an avatar for the imagination. It always has been. In your world, Gygor's a good guy, and Tila is an evil sorceress, and Orko can control the universe. It's totally up to you. It's not meant to be one way.
Okay, thank you.
He-Man's a bad guy when I play with it.
G'day all. I'd just like to say awesome display. Really, really excited about what's coming up. Just a quick question. With the extensive bios and things on the back of the packaging, just wondering if there's an avenue for comic books possibly being re-released with this massive influx.
We definitely hear you on the comics. We're very excited about doing that. There's nothing we can announce now. It's definitely something we continue to look into. It's logistically just not possible at the exact moment, but Total Comics, we're talking about lots of new entertainment for the Masters player.
Fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, mine too, every day.
The Invisible Kid, will he be Wild North or Jean Foucault?
Bill, you know that one, right?
It'll be Lyle.
Okay, but that wasn't my real question. My real question is, Man-at-Arms came with an electronic power sword. So when we get around to doing Fisto, is there a possibility of a Battle Fist sword being included?
Sure. that would probably make sense. Everyone knows that sword, and yeah, there's definitely demand for that. We'll probably also do 2 heads on them. a 2002 vintage.
With the Masters line, when you guys initially launched it, you mentioned there was a strong focus on the classics. However, you've been including the 2000X canon in there with Marzo and Keldor and whatnot. My question is something that really goes on in the internet back and forth is, what's the deal with 2000X He-Man? Why do you keep regarding to Japanese anime styling? I think that what fans really want to see is just He-Man with the armor from the 2000X. You can have the same kind of body, muscle tone, whatever, but just have a different head sculpt. We don't want to have a Filmation He-Man head with 2000X armor. Is that something that you guys could possibly do?
Sure, so let me clarify the whole 2000X and the He-Man thing, once and for all. I've read all the chatter. So, the 2000X style was kind of a, I say anime interpretation. I'm just using that as a term, but meaning hyper-stylized, extra pouches, extra spikes, crazy hair. That look is retired. That was an interpretation of the classic figures. They took the classic figures and they applied, the Horsemen applied an anime, hyper-stylized detail to it. The current Master Universe Classics line is the same concept. It's the vintage figures, but in a different interpretation. In this case, the interpretation is the classic style. So therefore, a 2000X styled He-Man, the only things that are aesthetically different about him is really his chest harness. His hair, with the hyper detail, that look is retired. You're not going to see hyper detail. So if we did a 2000X He-Man, he would essentially be a repainted He-Man figure, like making his gauntlets, I think, brown. I could be mistaken. You guys, silver. Okay, you guys would know best. And a new chest harness, and then he'd probably come with Man-at-Arms power sword. Honestly, that doesn't seem like the most exciting variant of He-Man for us. If you guys really want us to do that one, we could try to bump that up. But compared to like Snake Armor He-Man, Thunder Punch He-Man, do you really want a 2000X He-Man more? No.
Well, Snake Armor He-Man, that's something that I was thinking about. Regarding what you're saying, if you do Snake Armor He-Man,
same head.
So we're gonna have a Filmation He-Man head on a Snake
Armor. Correct. It would be the Snake Man armor, unstylized slightly, done as if that character existed in the vintage line. So the anime look is retired. And then, next question.
Hello, my name is Dan. First of all, I want to thank all you guys for making this line a possibility. It's really been incredible. So thank you very much for all the hard work you're putting into it.
Actually, thank you guys, because if you guys weren't out there pushing for it and buying it, none of us would be here where we're at right now.
Thank you. Thank you guys for doing an incredible job. My question is, do you have an update for us on the Filmation stuff? I know there's a gray area that a lot of stuff may not be available to do in this line. And second part of that, is Granomir a part of that, or is he a possibility down the road?
So Granomir appeared first in the mini-comics. So yes, anyone created by Filmation, meaning Lizard Man, Shadow Weaver, Eyesore, Batros, Light Hope, even if they appeared later on, unless they appeared in the 2002 series, like Marzo and Evil Seed, thank you. That was kind of a window that got them in. That window is closed. So if it was created by Filmation but not in the 2002 series, it's not available at this moment. Things could change, but right now we don't have access to Filmation.
Thank you very much.
We're running out of time, guys. We may not get to everyone in line, so why don't we if you just ask you a question, we'll go quick.
Any hints on a vehicle?
There'll be one. Again, this is the last question. I'm sorry, guys.
Crap, because he just stole my question. The vehicle, is that going to count as the large-scale figure?
No, that will be a unique SKU, completely different, not counted. It's not in the subscription.
Gotcha. But White Pony.
Mine's not a question. I just want you guys to make Mosquitor.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yes.
Am I alone? Am I alone? Who else wants Mosquitor?
It's one of many figures you want to get to.
2011. Get to it in 2011.
Take it into account, Mr. Pixel. All right. Guys, I'm sorry we can't get to I will still be down. All of us will be at the booth throughout the show. We're going to do we'll do the Swift Wind. I'm getting a crying look. I'm sorry, you guys.